Hey guys, Joe here. Thanks for checking out another video on the channel. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to get subscribed, all that good stuff, because then you could have seen the range review video for the Rock Island STK 100. Check out the video up there. I went and did the tabletop review, and then we took it out to the shooting range in order to do the 100 rounds that I normally put through a new firearm, and unfortunately, it broke. The extractor tooth snapped off the extractor somehow. Could have been a manufacturing defect. We noticed in the first mag that it was leaving brass shavings inside of the combustion area, chamber, whatever you want to call it, the extraction ejection port. And we went ahead and kept firing it because it wasn't affecting the gun, and about the third mag, it stopped pulling the empty shell out of the barrel. Didn't matter what I used, either 124 grain, 115 grain, 147 grain, no matter what it was, it would not grab it anymore and pull it out. Looking at it, it would go out but not back in, and it looked like the tooth was actually flush with the side of the slide. So either there's a manufacturing defect in the extractor or the spring is bad and it just doesn't want to go in anymore. Either way, it's supposed to be 3rd gen Glock internals, so we're going to try a different Glock 17 extractor, see if that fixes it. If not, it goes right back to Rock Island. That's why I do these things, guys. I go and buy a new gun that just came out so that I can test it and tell you if there's anything up with it. Rock Island has never given me a problem before in my life. This is the first one I've had give me any issues, and hopefully it's something that's simple to fix. New gun, first generation of that gun, potentially some issues. That's why today you're getting a tabletop review on Walther. Technically, this is not actually a Walther. This is a Colt licensed, Walther produced gun. I'm going to keep saying it wrong just because I'm sure it's triggering some of you. But once we pop open the case, you will see that inside is a 1911 that says Colt Gold Cup Trophy. This is the jointly developed 22 long rifle gun that Walther builds and Colt puts their name on. GSG used to do some for other manufacturers, and I believe that really crappy company that I don't like to name, Crapapa, I believe they used to make them for other manufacturers too. But this one is a 22 long rifle in a 1911, and that's what I kind of been wanting. I've been wanting another 22. I have my Ruger Wrangler. That's a 6-shot with a single action only, and you have to open up the side port and all that junk. This just takes regular mags and it gives you a 1911 sight picture, and you can shoot and just practice with the 1911 style handgun without having all the cost of 75 cents a round ammunition. Speaking of costs, $365 is the retail, or what Liberty Arms is charging for it. It actually maps at, I believe, $440. And you can get one of these for yourself. You just Google Liberty Arms down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Tell them that you saw it on my show and you'd like to order one. They can ship it to your FFL. This one is no longer for sale because I bought this one. I've been wanting a 22 and a 1911. This one came in. It's a reasonable price, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I went ahead and did it. Overall, I think that it was a good choice. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it, and we'll start with the box. Inside the box, you get some tools. You get a, what the heck is that? Is that supposed to be a speed loader or something? I bet you it is. I bet you it grabs the mag. Yep. You put it down over the mag and it grabs that little lip there and pulls it down. However, this is a 22 long rifle, so pretty much anybody should be able to pull that down. You also get a wrench. I believe that is for something to do with the internals here. We'll take a look at it when I pop the top off. And you also get 2 Allen keys, possibly for the adjustable sight. I noticed it has some Allen key bolts there, as well as the front is actually Allen keyed in. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it a little bit. Other than that, inside the box you get a gun lock and your manual of arms, which is funny because this is actually an armament. But looking around it, it is the same size as a government model 1911, 5-inch is what it would be called, 5-inch barrel, although I believe this barrel, because of the length of the 22 bullet, comes back a little bit further, so technically that'd be like a 5 1/4. we're not nitpicking. It does have front and rear adjustable sights. The rear is adjustable for elevation and windage. The front is just a blade style. However, it is both dovetailed and Allen keyed in. However, I'll probably just take my acrylic fluorescent green gun sight paint and just do that. Has a generous beaver tail on it, single-sided safety, which is perfectly fine. Very stiff, which I kind of like. Has a regular slide lock, slide release here, and of course your mag release. Mag should be drop free, and it is. And I believe this is a 10-round magazine for 22 long rifle, which is pretty cool. And it says right on it that it's made specifically for Colt in Germany. So I don't know if this will interchange with like the Mark IVs or anybody else's 22 caliber magazines. If you know, down in the comments, put it in there. Has rubber grips on it, which I actually kind of like because these rubber grips wrap around the front and give you some front strap checkering, which is sorely missed on a lot of 1911s, especially at this price range. Extended beaver tail and extended memory notch on the grip safety. Excuse me, my brain just stopped right there. Does have a skeletonized trigger, however the trigger is not adjustable. Overall feel, it weighs about 80% as much as a 1911 because this slide is much lighter than a 1911. In fact, it feels like an air gun slide to actually rack it, which is fine. Perfectly fine. You don't want to just drop the hammer on these because these are rimfire guns and you could cause damage to the pin if you're just smacking it into the inside of the chamber. So tip for you, you've seen me dry fire 1911s in 45 and 9 and stuff. Don't recommend that with 22 long rifle regardless of what the platform is. The front has a itty bitty barrel, as you can see, and a standard bushing. I think that's enough wishy-washy stuff. Let's go ahead and pop her apart. In order to do that, we make sure there is no mag in it. Make sure she's empty. I've been doing it this whole time. Go ahead and take your bushing. And just like a standard 1911, you pull your bushing over and make sure your spring doesn't go anywhere. It's a pretty light spring, so you don't have to really worry about it flying across the room like many other ones. Take your barrel bushing off. And then slide the slide back. A little bit of an oxymoronic thing saying to, and this is slightly different from a standard gun. It doesn't have 2 notches, it just has the standard locking area because of the way the gun is put together. Just take your, let's pop this tool out, make it easier to disassemble everything. He has the tools, might as well use them. Might as well use the wrong tool. Any tool's the right tool if you're a tool. And slide your slide lock out. It was very stiff in there because it uses a spring to retain it, which again is a bit different from a standard gun. At which point you're going to pull back, lift up, and slide it off. Looking at the frame first, since it's housing the barrel, you can see that it's just a standard 22 LR barrel that is physically mounted onto the firearm itself. It looks like it's removable, however, it looks like it's a couple of pins possibly to knock out. I've never actually taken apart one of these, and I'm not going to on camera. Standard hammer, ejector, and your sear. So those are all standard 1911 style parts. This is a Series 70 style, so it doesn't use a drop safety. And other than that, it seems pretty much like a normal 1911. Taking a look at the slide, you will see it is slightly different from your standard 1911. It does have your regular firing pin tube and all that good stuff. However, the extractor, because you're shooting 22 long rifle, is in the actual rear face of the chamber. It's right there, so it actually pulls it out when it slides back and kicks out the round. That's kind of cool. I've never seen that myself, and I'm hoping it works fine. There's a lot of these guns out there, so it should work just fine. The machining on it is first rate. I don't see any marks inside or anything that would indicate that it is of subpar quality. Yeah, this is definitely all the weight of the gun. It weighs about as much as a 1911 standard frame. This is aluminum, weighs nothing. It barely weighs more than the mag, which makes sense because it's not a very heavy charge that you're firing through the gun. Okay, here we go for reassembly. One thing I forgot to do originally was you need to make sure that this is lined up correctly. It does come out. Make sure you have that underneath the barrel. You're going to have to move that once you put the top of the slide back on. Go ahead and do that. Takes a little bit of wiggling. You've got to get in the right spot. Once you do that, go ahead and do that because you need to get the little plunger that's underneath the barrel forward so that you can start your slide lock. Most 1911s you would actually be inserting it through the drop link. However, this gun does not have a drop link, so that is not somewhere we need to be. Bring it back to the slide lock slide release notch and go ahead and put that in place. Once you've done that, you are halfway there. I just go ahead and let the plunger come back to the forward again. Put your barrel bushing in before you forget and have to work it around your spring. There we go. Take your spring, put it over the end of the guide rod. It's technically a guide rod, it doesn't really go anywhere. And then push your spring plunger back down. Normally I would have the safety engage, but this is such a weak spring, it doesn't need it. But once you've done that, make sure that you can fully rack the firearm and that the trigger goes down when you pull the trigger. Easy peasy, 15 stepsies. So that is the Walther Colt Gold Cup Trophy 22 LR with adjustable sights. What do I think about it? I think it's nice. It has a nice weight to it, a nice feel to it, and I'm sure it'll shoot very nicely. We will be taking this out to the range once my Rock Island gets repaired so that we have something to shoot alongside the Rock Island. I look forward to shooting this and giving you my 100-round report like I used to do all the time. But now that ammo costs an arm, a leg, and all your ammo, it's taken me a little longer between range time. So, help out the channel, subscribe down below, links, all that good stuff. You'll become a member, that's good. And you can leave comments and questions, I answer them all, and I will take care of you. So, until I get this thing out to the range, I'll talk to you later.